Good evening, students. I welcome you all in my GK class. Today we are going to study. Good evening, students. I welcome you all in my GK class. Today we are going to study about lost cities from your GK chapter 9 as well as chapter 10. World's worst tragedies. Now, in this chapter, we are going to talk about the worst tragedies which had taken place in the world. We are humans, we are supposed to live a better life than animals, right? We all are humans, and from humans it is expected that they should behave like a human being, right? There should be a humanity, but we don't, in order to exploit the natural resources. But we don't behave like a human being, we behave like a worse than an animal, right? Whenever it comes to the natural resources, we just exploit it. We never think about natural resources, we never conserve it. We just try to consume it, and we just exploit it. And the acquire new territories, we commit acts that are very shameful. And the things which we are doing for getting the resources, natural resources, that is really very shameful. Okay, so first of all, we I'm going to discuss about First World War, or the Great War. The First World War is also known as the Great War, and it was a global war that originated. It continued 1914 to 1918, and this war had taken place in 1914, and it was long 4 years, right? It was one of the deadliest international conflicts in the recorded history, right? It was considered as the deadliest international conflicts, and it is also recorded in the history. Everyone knows about the First World War that had taken place in 1914 and 1918, right? It was the worst tragedies considered. The next one, the United States dropped nuclear bombs onto Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki on 6th August and 9th August 1945. Now we are talking about the Second World War. The Second World War had taken place in 1939, right? And it was continued till 6 long years to till 1945, right? And during this war, the United States dropped nuclear bombs on two Japanese cities, and they are Hiroshima and the other is Nagasaki, right? They had dropped the nuclear bomb on Hiroshima on 6th August and at Nagasaki at on 9th August, respectively, killing at least 1,29,000 people. And 1,29,000 people were died in that nuclear bomb attack. It remains the only use of nuclear weapon for the welfare in history till date. The next one is the Exxon Valdez oil spill. The Exxon Valdez oil spill is also considered as the worst tragedies happened in the world, and it was occurred in Prince William Sound, Alaska. On the day of Good Friday, it had taken place on the day of Good Friday, 24th March 1989. Big Reef and split, and it spilled 14 crore 36 lakh 40,000 liters of crude oil. You know, 14 crore liters of petroleum oil was spilled in the ocean. It is considered to be one of the most devastating. At that days, I think one of the students were asking the meaning of devastating. Devastating means destroying, right? It is considered as one of the most destroying human caused environmental disasters, right? Because 14 crore liters is not less amount, right? And 14 crores liter oil was crude oil, that is raw oil, was spilled in the ocean. The next one is the Deepwater Horizon oil spill. It is also known as the BP oil spill. and it had taken place in the Gulf of Mexico oil spill. It had taken place on 20th April 2010, 10 years ago, right, in the Gulf of Mexico. It is considered the largest accidental marine oil spill in the history of the petroleum industry, as 79 crore 38 lakh liters of oil spilled during this accident. If you will compare, you will find out that in the Exxon Valdez oil spill that had taken place in Alaska, right, and in that tragedy you will find out 14 crores liters of crude oil was spilled in the ocean, but this one is the biggest, that is known as BP oil spill. In this, 79 crore 38 lakh liter oil spilled during this accident. It's miserable. It's really the worst tragedy. The next one is Second World War. Second World War was a global war. We have also discussed that Second World War had taken place in 1939, 1945. During this World War, United States had dropped nuclear bombs on two Japanese cities. They are Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and the nuclear bombs were Little Boy and Fat Boy, right? The next one is on the night of 2nd December 1984, the Union Carbide pesticide plant, right? There is a plant in Bhopal known as Union Carbide pesticide plant, and in that plant, one night, and that was the night of 2nd December. It was in the year 1984. In that night, in Bhopal, a gas named methyl isocyanate leaked and other poisonous toxins into the atmosphere. Over 5 lakh people were exposed, they were affected by that poisonous gas, and more than 15,000 people were died. It is also known as Bhopal gas tragedy. Okay, this one is also considered the most worst tragedies, Bhopal gas tragedies. For the view of examination, this question is also very important. And on the night of 2nd December 1984, there is a plant in Bhopal known as Union Carbide pesticide, and on that plant one night a poisonous gas named methyl isocyanate leaked, right, and due to this toxins gas, more than 5 lakh people were affected and 15,000 people were died. Is it clear? The last one is the 3 Mile Island accident was a partial nuclear meltdown. It occurred on 28th March 1979 in Pennsylvania, United States. It was rated a 5 on the 7-point International Nuclear Event Scale. So moving to the next slide, we are talking about in this chapter the worst tragedies which had taken place in this world, and you have to now think how can we prevent it, right? And you can give your suggestions in the comment box also. Now we are on the chapter 10, and we are going to study about the lost cities of the world, right? Here I'm showing you a picture and some explanation regarding this picture, and you have to just guess the right one, what will be the answer. The first one is, it was once the largest city in the world, right? If you will find out, then you will, if you will see in the recorded history, you will find out that it was the largest city. It was the biggest city in the world, and more than 1 million people was living there. It is located in Cambodia. The city has an area of more than 78 square kilometers, but if you will Google, you will find out that it has area more than 162.6 kilometers square, and that is correct. It has written here 78 square kilometers, but more than, how more than, it's not specific here, but it's the 162.6 kilometer squares, and it was surrounded by a water filled moat, right? French naturalist Henry Mohot was the first researcher to discover the city in 1861. This largest city in the world that is located in Cambodia, and it has 162.6 square kilometer. It was discovered by Henry Mohot in 1861, and this one is known as Angkor Wat. Okay. So moving to the next question, Inca was a group of South American Indians. It was a fortified Inca city on the top of a mountain. It is located in present-day Peru. It was known to the outside world before being brought to international attention in 1911 by an American historian, Hiram Bingham. You know, this place, the second one which I'm showing here picture, that was come in the light in 1911 by an American historian named Hiram Bingham, right? And it's a group of South American Indians. It was fortified Inca city on the top of a mountain. It is located on the top of a mountain, right? And if we are talking about where it is nowadays, it's in Peru. Okay, as we had discussed that Angkor Wat was in Cambodia, same as it was in Peru. Okay, so it's known as Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu. Moving to the third one, this city has completely buried by volcanic ash. Now it's completely converted into an ash when Mountain Vesuvius erupted in AD 79. Its excavation started discovered. Since then, many treasures have been discovered, which include beautifully preserved murals or wall paintings. Today it has become the UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it is one of the most popular tourist attraction of Italy. More than 2 crore, and it is one of the most popular tourist attraction of Italy. More than 25 lakh visitors visit this site every year, and this one is known as Pompeii. Pompeii is very famous site in Italy, and it attracts tourists also. It also included in the UNESCO World Heritage Site. Okay. The Mayan developed the world's greatest civilization. Why? The Mayan people developed the world's greatest civilization between AD 250 and AD 900. They developed cities which contained palaces, temples, plazas, and ball courts. That's why it was the greatest civilization. Moving to the next slide, and this one the last slide of this chapter. The picture number 4, you have to just see it carefully. It is an archaeological site situated in the province of Sindh, Pakistan, and it's very, it's very famous. You must be knowing the answer. It was one of the world's earliest major settlements. It was built in 2600 BC and abandoned around 1800 BC. It was discovered in 1922 by Rakhaldas Banerjee, right? And it is known as Mohenjo-daro. You will see a movie based on this, historical place, that is a Mohenjo-daro. A movie's based on that, and Hrithik Roshan was the main hero in that movie, right? So if you will see that movie, you will also get some information regarding this, and if you will Google it, you will get more information about it, right? It's the very important question asked during many exams. And the next one is picture 5. This city was once thought to have existed only in legends, but its site was discovered in the 1870s. It is located in present-day Turkey. It is best known for being the setting of the Trojan War, which has been described in the Greek epic Iliad by Homer, and it is known as Troy. Troy city was once thought to have existed only in legends, right? If you will read about the ancient things. If you will read the ancient literature, then you will find that Troy has mentioned there, right? It was discovered in 1870s, and it was now Troy is present nowadays, now is present in Turkey, right? And I'm showing you picture here, sixth. And this is, once it was known one of the greatest cities in the world. It was the greatest cities in the world, not in the country, not in the city, but it was considered as the greatest city in the world. It was abundant in the 4th century BC. Its magnificent royal tombs and other sites were excavated by archaeologists between 1922 and 34, and now it's located in Iraq. So what is it? It is Ur. Okay, you have to find out which canal. The last one question is, which canal connects the Atlantic Ocean with the Pacific Ocean? So the correct answer is Panama Canal. Panama Canal connects the Atlantic Ocean with the Pacific Ocean. I think the chapter is clear to you all. If you have any query, you can ask me in comment box or WhatsApp also. And if you had explored some more lost cities, if you had explored some more lost cities, then you can write in chat box as well. You can write in comment box as well. Thank you for watching.